If you're watching me for the first time, thank you for stopping by. This is the segment we call Say It Like It Is. It's basically the one where people send me, topics, their stories to my email address, foodchannel1960@gmail.com. You can look in the description of this video. If you're watching this on YouTube, you find my contact detail. By the way, if you haven't, follow me on Instagram at Phrankleen. It's spelled exactly the same way as it is on my YouTube channel. But today, I'm talking about an interesting topic. So let's see who is online. So the premise of this show, for those watching for the first time, is hopefully, as a black folks, people from the black community, we can hopefully learn, one or two things from this, and hopefully get better one step at a time and improve as a collective, as a group of people. All right. If you like what I'm about, don't forget to share my videos. Don't forget to like my video, smash on the subscribe button. And once you've done that, select the bell button and select the all option so that you are notified when I'm online like this. You may be busy at work, doing something, sleeping, cooking. At least you're notified, and then you can come back to the video in your own time to watch my content, okay? And, also when I upload pre-recorded content, you'll also be notified on your timeline, all right? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, okay? Big Shaq, what's up, people? Isla, what's up? So let's get the show started, We're talking about imposition of things like careers and pathway and all that by parents, and how they tend to have you know devastating what do you call effect on people's lives. Oh, Sita, what's going on, my brother? Hit the like button, okay? So I've got my own bullet points here that I'm going to go through in a moment. I've got my bullet points here, but it's these topic is a very interesting one. I think I've sort of touched on this in the past. It's a long time ago, but these gentlemen, one of the people that watches my channel, these conversation back and forth via email, which led to a brief telephone chat, stemmed from he paid for divination. So the outcome of the divination gave Akosajaye, which is a predestination check into his life and all that. So it uncovered quite a lot, right? Hi, Rita. Hi, Rita. Rita, I got your email. I'll respond to you, okay, later tonight. I hope you're fine. So he got the outcome of the Akosajaye, the predestination check, and he was blown away, upset. It was a mixed bag of emotion. He was excited, but he was devastated at the same time, because everything about him was imposed, by the parents, and they absolutely sent him in a totally different direction. He's never had a say. He talked about his father being sort of like an authoritarian type of person, bit of a bully. It's very common within the African or the black community, whereby, particularly for those of us, if you're, grew up in Africa and all that, most parents, going through your formative years, you are robbed of critical thinking, and there's this imposition that they carry out, and it's like things like, whereby a parent would say, oh, you must, what happened to my glasses? My glasses is just by my side here. I took it off. I just feel like taking it off because I'm quite close to the camera anyway. So, whereby I know plenty of people where the parents have pretty much dictated, careers, and, oh, you have to do this. Even it gets really intrusive, where some people, the parents hijack their adult life and they dictate who they get married to. And then these most of the time tend to give birth to a truckload of problems and pretty much leave cracks in the lives of these persons. So these persons said, going back to his the outcome of his Akosajaye predestination check, went to the Ifa priest, and then I sent it back to him, and then he was shocked because all that, the years he spent in the UK studying this, studying that, they had nothing to do with him. And particularly, he's always struggled with fulfillment. He's been unable for years to keep a job, financial struggle, marriage really rocky, and all that. Now, these issues is actually multifaceted. So it's very simple. I've sort of just compressed it. So the guy said he remembered, growing up when he was a lot younger in the teenage years, and was telling his dad, because the dad sent him to the UK. He was like, it was ordered that you must go to the university to study law and do XYZ. Had nothing to do with him. The law degree has been on the shelf for years, doing nothing. He's not earned £1 from that degree. Thank you, Kanan Malue, for the super chat. Thank you for telling the truth about all subjects you speak about. Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Smash the like button so we can gain traction. So this guy said he's tried his hands on project management. He's tried to do other things. He's just sort of he's got these sort of like scaffolding on plenty of ideas, and then before you know, he got married. He's got a couple of children. Real life slaps you in the face. Reality, bills have got to be paid on a monthly basis. You've got a couple of children between you and your woman, and the pressure is on you, societal pressure. You're a man, you're a husband, you're a dad. You've got to man up, as the society would say. You've got to put bread on the table. So when adult life gets into full gear, what it does to a lot of people is, you've got to just put your hands on whatever just to bring in that monthly paycheck. But what runs concurrently with that is you are more than likely going to be trapped in a rat race of unfulfillment, and you just carry on. And then what also runs concurrently with that is every day you wake up and you hit the ground running, trapped in that same vicious cycle. You are robbed of one of the most important thing in your life, and that's time. Before you blink, your youth, the years of having strong bones, disappear very quickly. And then before you know, you're in your late 40s, you're in your 50s, and before you know what you're doing, 60s are here, children are grown, they fly out the nest. Evening part of your life, loneliness kicks in. Some of you might have separated. You can't really pinpoint that this is something tangible that you've done with the prime part of your adult or human existence, right? And then at that time, people just give up, and then you're just hoping just to, get your pension credits, and then you give up and you just take each day as you come, and you latch onto religiosity, hoping that Sky God will come and get you someday. So the long and short of what I'm saying is, it's a multifaceted problem that predates myself, dates back donkey years. It's a template of destruction that's deeply rooted within the Black community. All right? So you're really a down-to-earth person. I'm really inspired, even at my age. Please continue with your mission in God. If I will always guide and strengthen you. I share. Thank you, GMN. I'm a proud practitioner of Ifa. And I will always do Ifa Gbiwa. Thank you. And as I always say, talking about Ifa doesn't mean I'm trying to gain forceful access into your lungs so I can force it down your lungs. I will always talk about it for one primary reason, because it's my platform. And I'm a proud practitioner of same. Just like if you go to someone else's platform who is a notoriously religious person or religiously inclined, they'll always bang in your face, the Mark chapter 6 verse yada, yada, yada. The Bible says Jesus wept and all that stuff. So it's the same thing. But, Ifa mirrors who we are. I'm a proud Yoruba man that emanated from Oduduwa land in Nigeria. So hence, who is this? Feishayo Shogbamu. Oh, wow. So wait, hello, Phrankleen. My wife is a huge fan of yours. Well done. Wait, so they are allowing Nigerians to pay super chat now. That's 10,000 Nigerian naira. That's the first time I've seen that on YouTube. Thank you, man. I salute you. I've never seen that before on YouTube because they allow other currencies. They have never seen Nigerian naira. Wow. Thank you, Feishaya. So. I have my so that's that brother's story, and he is happy that Ifa has allowed him to gain an insight into what the universe called him to do in this dispensation. But he's in his mid-30s. There's a lot of correction to do. The U-turn is usually very, very difficult, depending on who you are, where you are. It's always challenging, but that's that. So that prompted me to bring this topic. So I have my bullet points. Let's talk about it. Bullet point number 1. Most parents are products of suppressive, vicious cycle. So what do I mean? They are products of suppressive, vicious cycle. That means they themselves, unfortunately, came up in the same suppressive, vicious cycle. They came from generation where everything, they were bullied into a particular lifestyle. They would get a smack down and be subjected to vicious cycle of abuse and bit down on smackings. They were robbed of critical thinking. Okay, so I'm a believer in something. You cannot give what you don't have. So unfortunately, most of these parents, and that's not to justify some of their choices, but they themselves don't know any better. And that's not a disparaging comment, okay? You can only give what you have. If you come from you grew up in a household, or you grew up from a generation where it's all about religiosity, you are robbed of critical thinking, they just say, hey, you have to be an engineer, just go be an engineer. You must be a lawyer. You must go to medical school and somebody said when you saw 10,000, you were shocked, right? You thought it was $10,000. Man, I would run off here butt naked. I'm joking. So, as I was saying, these vicious cycle that's been passed down several generations, it's a major entrapment that keeps destroying generation after generations. Okay? I've talked about this severally, how we are robbed in the African society of critical thinking. That's why a lot of our folks, when you get to the West and then you try to immerse yourself like in the American society, or you get to the UK, it's not because our people are stupid, it's not because they're not smart, but you know what I mean by critical thinking? A little child growing up in England here can ask you that, hello, Uncle Phrankleen, why are you wearing glasses? Oh yeah, because I'm short-sighted. Oh, it's because I'm long-sighted. All right. What does it mean to be long-sighted? Can you tell me? Right? That child will engage your thought process. Why do I have to pray and close my eyes and pray before I eat my food? You're gonna have to answer them. I don't think so. Really? Why do I have to do this? Why this? Why that? I'm not happy with that. Can you please put my cup on the table? No, I don't want you. I know I don't want the cold drink. I want the normal room temperature, Daddy. Do you understand? These grows with you, right? It builds self-confidence. So regardless of age gap, one of the things I've noticed around here, in their schools here, they allow children to challenge thought process. All right? And in our community, in our societies, if you say, Dad, but I think this is wrong. Dad, why are you, Dad, but you've asked me to go study accountancy or accounting, right? Sorry, to go become an accountant, or to go study accounting, right? I don't feel like being an accountant, right? What a normal father should do is pay attention to what interests the child, possibly what aligns with the child's universal calling. Do you understand? But there is these dictatorial way of interaction from a lot of African parents, whereby they smack into you, they pass down into instructions. It reeks of narcissism. You must go to medical school. You must be a doctor. You must be an engineer. And most children have these templates of existence forced down their lungs. You can't talk back. And then especially when you grow up in an environment where what runs concurrently with the parents' behavior is they also are religious people. So what they tend to also do is they weaponize these so-called religious leaders, because the moment you talk back, the moment you dare to challenge your dad or mom's thought process, or you question them, oh, they have verses in the Bible customized and ready for you, or even in the Quran. There are conversations that these so-called uncles, aunties, adults in the society, they all work in cahoot. They work in connivance to ensure that you are bent over, to ensure that you're suppressed. So they would give you 1,001 reasons why, thank you, the freedom Black Americans have to choose has been a disaster. Thank you, sick lead. They would ensure that you conform, because a child challenges the thought process of their guardian or their parents, or they try to express themselves and tell you what they like and don't like, doesn't mean they are rude or disrespectful. If I narrow it down, in the Nigerian environment, if a child says to their father, "Dad, I don't want to be an accountant. I actually would love to be an oil paint artist," right? Now, in most Nigerian families that are deeply rooted in religiosity, they would regard that child as being absolutely disrespectful to their parent, and you will be severely punished. Sometimes they would inflict you with cane and severe punishment for daring to even speak up. So most children grow up and they conform with this. And I say most. And they grow up. So they rob them of their critical thinking ability. And then they will grow through the formative years. Unfortunately, the door closes at 18 and they go through young adult life. So now, say they then decide to travel to America, or they travel to the UK, and then there's a huge difference, amongst Dammy Saints, thank you for the super chat, amongst their peers now. They're not used to critical thinking. So like in social gatherings, in offices and all that, the gap shows. The gap, that's why some of our people that come here, unfortunately, it's because it's like a DNA programming. It's sad. It aligns. It's sorry, not aligns with. It brings about inferiority complex in the wider societal context. That's why, because the confidence is already ruined. A lot of our people, they might be the best in terms of classroom qualifications. They may have a degree, master's degree. They've gone to multiple universities. That's not what we're talking about. Nigerians, when it comes to accumulation of qualifications, for example, we're bloody good at it. If there was Olympics for accumulation of qualifications, we will clear the medal table. But it's also possible for you to have multiple qualifications and be absolutely empty when it comes to critical thinking. So when it comes to the wider context of society now, there is something missing in your setup as a human being, and you're quickly exposed. Sometimes in office environment, it becomes embarrassing because you cannot interact. So the idea, somebody who has grown to not be able to challenge a thought process now, that's why when they dare get to that point mentally, like, sorry, Andy, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. Please, can you make sure I get the spreadsheet by 3 o'clock? I'm sorry, I'm sorry. They feel the need to bend over to their white counterparts. They feel as though that they might have offended somebody who is reeking with top-level confidence. right, would understand that, oh, hold on, in order for me to be able to disseminate my contractual duties within the confines of my workplace, Andy is holding me back. Andy is yet to complete the spreadsheet. So I will confidently say to Andy, Andy, do you mind letting me have the spreadsheet, by 3 o'clock, because it's holding me back and I've got a deadline, before Friday. And preferably, if you can, let me have it by 1, please, all right? So Andy would understand. Of course, Franklin, by all means, I do apologize. I'll sort it. That's why a lot of our people come here. They become, I call them the sorry machines. Let me see what Akwetobi is reading. Growing up, most children often exhibit an interest in something and they excel at it. This usually is what aligns with their ori, as these occurs naturally. Yes, unfortunately, most parents aim to live their failed lives through their children. Boom, bullseye. So it takes me to point number 2. I've talked about critical thinking, sorry. I've talked about parents being products of suppressive, vicious cycle themselves. Now, yes, there's also the issue of keeping up with the Joneses. So in our society, there's this pointless, silly competition, right? So these parents, when they have their children, they are into commodifying their children now. So they're looking at their peers. Oh, the Akitunde family, the let me see, Franklin. Childhood conditioning in psychology, conditioning is harder to reverse than brainwashing. In fact, they say conditioning can't be reversed, only managed. Result, emotional stagnation. Bullseye. You are absolutely correct. And this is the problem. It's this emotional stagnation is also why. I mean, I couldn't put it better than you. It's why it affects the overall fulfillment of a lot of our people in the wider context of the society, because you have been destroyed emotionally. Thank you for things you cannot imagine you did for me in my worst health moment, Franklin. Thank you, Esther. So as I was saying, keeping up with the Joneses, right? Which is they commodify the children. What is the additional family? Their daughter's gone to the US. Oh, she's in such and such HBU university. She's studying medicine. You have to go to the UK. You must go and study medicine. They find justification for this. So it's disguised and presented to you. It's a fraudulent misrepresentation that, oh, they want you to prosper and do well in life. You must go to England. You must go to England. Oh, because the Fadekemi's, or Additional's family, their daughter and son, they're all in the US. You must also go to the US or England to study medicine. You must become a solicitor. You have to go. So dad and mom are presenting this to you as, oh, kayele da, so you can do well in life. I mean, who would look at that, on paper and say, oh, that's in fact a bad idea. But in fact, there's an internalized agenda, which is keeping up with the Joneses. It could even be within the context of the immediate family that they exactly a reason a lot of Nigerian students get caught up in Ukraine. Bullseye. So it could be they're looking at your cousins, they're looking at that. Dad's younger brother, his daughter's gone to the UK, and they are competing blindly. It's a very toxic way to exist. They will put undue pressure. Before you leave the shores of Africa, they've already dictated, go there, go study engineering, go and study this and this, go and study that, because, okay, dad's the one funding. So you don't even have a say. Dad is sending you to the UK to go get your master's done, your degree and master's. So dad and mom are funding. Dad, I don't want mechanical engineering. Silence. You do as you're told. It's a major entrapment. It's very toxic. Bear in mind, you're deprived of critical thinking. Your voice is suppressed. They dictate. If they could measure the amount of oxygen that you take in, they will do. My Nigerian work colleague last month literally bowed down to a white supervisor to collect a tape from him. Absolutely shocking. Thank you, Mark, if that's true. Of course, I'm not going to sit here and lie. This is one of the things that make some of the people that watch me, they feel some type of way, but I don't give a rat's backside. I see this all the time, and I'm sure some of you watching me also see this. This is what I'm telling you. You want to give a tape. I want to give this to my colleague, and I have to bow down. I would rather die as a honorable man than bend over to another human being. I would rather die as a honorable man than bend over. There's a difference between, say you're dealing with an older gentleman or older woman, just out of respect that, oh, hello, madam, that's different. Here you go, here's a cup of tea or glass of water for you. That's different. Look at what that person said. You're trying to hand this, there you go, take. It's slavery and servitude. It's a damaged mindset. And again, in addition to that statement, unfortunately, because of the way a lot of people grew up, and a part of the contributory factor is media and all this conditioning when you're growing up on TV, because everything you see to be superior is white. So when they see even the toothless white person and stuff, they just see them as, oh, being superior. Oh, I've got to bow down. And your white counterparts, they know this too well. That's why they don't like confident black folks. Let me see. It is for their self-aggrandizement, pomposity, and foolish egoism of miseducated parents, a side effect of lack of self-knowledge, leading to lack of confidence and mental deprivation. Yep. I say this all the time. Some of those black folks that come on my channel to troll me and try to be disruptive and say all nonsense. Yeah. Put them in a room full of white folks and ask them to express themselves. They can't. They would have their faces planted far up in their rectums, buried between their butt cheeks, because they don't have it in them. They have been conditioned from childhood. Do you understand? Amongst ourselves, if you put a bunch of black folks in this room, oh, they would talk the talk. We get really loud. There's this emotional acrobatics. Everybody's talking, they're talking the game. The white folks walk in, a bunch of the black folks will go quiet. That's right. Right. I've talked about keeping up with the Joneses. This is a weapon that the parents use to destroy their children. Now, another popular point is these parents wanting to live vicariously through their children lets them impose career and religious choices. I think I've sort of touched on that, because some of them, because of failed life, like Akbitobi said earlier, failed life, they've failed at life themselves. So, and some of them, they have these sinister plans that's hidden in them. In the front end, it's sad, but it's just a harsh reality. I've got to say it. Some of these parents, they pretend, they carry on like they're helping you. Oh, they're pushing you through life. So one of the reasons why they would impose career choices and, and wouldn't let you express yourself or make choices, and it's all about them living vicariously through you, is they want to force you to medical school with the hope that as a medical doctor, you get a fat paycheck. It's really not for you. They're planning using you in the early stages of your career, whilst making those very dangerous choices now. They're using you to plan for their retirement. It's very common in our community. So that's why you notice it's a template. It's a roadmap. So whilst you're growing up, they ensure that you're robbed of critical thinking. They ensure they weaponize religiosity against you. They are very narcissistic. A lot of the experience, a lot, right? Your ideas on parents are very wrong. No, my ideas on parents are not very wrong. Okay? Most of the African parents, all right, Osagie, learn. You're clearly suffering from judgmental poverty. Okay? I don't know who you are because you're faceless behind the ID. You may be one of those few people. You had a fantastic upbringing, or you had a fantastic set of parents that they're not like that. Okay? Speak for yourself. You understand me? I speak in the wider context. So no, I'm not. Of course, it's unfounded. Let me block your backside. Go and help your mom to wash her drawers, Osagie. Okay? Don't come back here. You understand me? I'm a true African. I'm a son of the soil. And you see what I'm doing on my channel, in case you're still watching there, like the little loser that you are behind the screen. Let me educate you. These are uncomfortable, because if we must get better in the Black community as individuals, as a unit, we need to have these very difficult, uncomfortable conversations. If there is one thing that I don't know how to do, I don't know how to sugarcoat. You understand me? So you can get mad all you want, smash your head against the wall, jump through the window. That's your cup of tea. All right? You understand? There are plenty of people. In fact, let's even talk offline. I've lived here for more than 2 decades. Do you know how many people? Do you know how many dudes, friends over the years that we've had chats offline from YouTube, away from YouTube, that would say, bro, my degree, this and this and this, the only time that I had freedom was when my father died, or the only time I was able to do my own thing was because I had to cut my parents off, I had to change my number. There's so many things. Some of you, the genuine people know what I'm talking about, man. And this is the problem with Black folks. You see, they know the truth. Yeah, of course, I blocked him. They know the truth. The fact that you dare to even touch on the topic, they get angry. Osagie doesn't know. He has the brain of a fish. In the wider context of the society, you and I, Osagie, if you're still there, you and I have a common enemy. In the wider context of the world, of the society, regardless of my background or your background, how do we get better as a people? How do we begin to build? Oh, the way you're thinking about parents is not. No, I'm going to tell you the truth. So I was talking about the roadmap earlier. There's the conditioning from when you were young for a lot of people. They throw religiosity in the mix. And what religion does as well is it suppresses your voice. You are given a template of existence. You are never allowed to challenge. This is how it's done. You must do it that way. You cannot think outside the box. That's one of the dangers of religiosity, right? They live vicariously through you. Now, check this out. It's a roadmap of your life. They've created it. Your parents don't let go. That's why people that want to break free from that chain, be ready to fight. It's never going to be a palatable, hey, mom and dad, you know what, man? I think you've tried. I would like if you can, let's have an amicable chat like we're doing now. Respect boundaries a little bit. I'm an adult now, and no, never. those parents, African parents, that have created the roadmap, right? So if you want to fight back or fight them off, you've got to be ready for a major fight. It doesn't necessarily mean, there's got to be blood involved, you have to be physically violent, but you've got to put your foot down because they won't let go. Some of them, they would want to be in your affairs till the day they take their last breath. They wouldn't let go. That's why, this is what I'm saying to people. Stay fortified. I'm going to touch that in a moment. Now, the roadmap goes that once they condition you through adult life, that's why when you come abroad, you are mentally conditioned that you're the only one who's traveled out of about 4 or 5 siblings. You must mandatorily give us this amount of money on a monthly basis. And what happens to most average earning people that live overseas and abroad, you have your monthly outgoings to contend with. There is the mental conditioning from back home. Do you understand me? There is the mental conditioning from back home. And you are then caught up. Do you know how many emails I have in my inbox? So many people like, Phrankleen, if I had a fraction of your confidence, I agree with you. Execution is the problem. I can't even say no to my parents, and they are bleeding me dry. My mother disowned me when I told her I believed in evolution. How can you disown your child for believing it? Man, that's hilarious, man. Let me respond to that. Phrankleen, I love you and what you're doing. Aneke Okechukwu, I have a request though. Can we please entertain opposing views? Now, before I carry on, Aneke, let me respond to that. I've said it several times on my platform, okay? Having opposing views is not the problem, all right? In fact, some of these days in going forward, I'm going to go back to what I used to do, that I let people call in, we have this back and forth and stuff. We can have a back and forth. You can have an opposing view. The show is never about, oh, you must agree with me. No. What I have a problem with is when you throw toxicity at me, I will boot you off my platform. Those are two separate things. Do you understand? We can have a chat. You can disagree with me all you like. But it's the way you articulate yourself. Some of you here, you work in offices, you have 9 to 5 jobs. You might see in the board meeting with your colleagues or your line managers and staff, and then they say something and you have an opposing view. You're allowed to express yourself. But imagine if you say to your boss, Tom, look, I don't think you have common sense. You know what the way you're leading this organization, you're leading us to destruction, Tom. You can imagine everyone would look at you and, huh? They would get rid of you. Do you understand what I'm saying? The way you do you understand? Thank you. Opposing views are great, but I notice a lot of people don't know how to debate without being disrespectful. Let me tell you, black folks know how to debate. The problem with them, they see themselves in me because I look like them. So why should I give this guy respect? So they want to throw disdain at you. They want you to accept it. They want to talk to you in a disrespectful manner. I've said it before. They would never go to a YouTube channel that's run by a white person and talk like that. They would never do that. If I walk into a McDonald's or a KFC and I want to buy a cup of cappuccino, right? And the lady says, oh, excuse me, sir, we've run out of cappuccino. Can I offer you a black coffee instead? Or can I offer you a cup of tea instead? The lady has not done anything wrong. So imagine me now, speaking to her rudely. I don't want that. I want dinner. And then you still want them to serve you. Here in England, the way this country is wired, you walk into a coffee shop, a restaurant, a pub, or a bar, and you talk in a disrespectful manner, they would tell you, sir, I'm not serving you. Can you leave, please? Right? If you become a nuisance, they call the police. And they have the right to. You cannot be rude and disrespectful and then have the audacity to remain on my platform. Never. That's my principle. So don't take opposing view. Don't use it as a ground. You disrespect me, see this place as my house. You disrespect me in my space, I will kick you out. Doesn't mean I don't like opposing views, okay? Now, let's crack on. Black people are very stubborn, okay? Stubbornness is my middle name. If you continue bringing foolishness, I'll boot you off my platform. Some of them, if I show you my inbox, they will hide behind nameless email addresses and they would insult me, all because they don't agree with the video. They will call me all sorts of names. Names that you can't call your white counterparts. Why do you do it? I don't call you names. But hey, so wanting to live vicariously through their children, like I said earlier, I think I've touched on that. And because that this one is very prevalent. They want you to go in a particular in a particular pathway in life. So that when they grow old, they can make demands. So if you say to your dad who wants you to be an engineer, that dad, I want to be an artist. Never. Do you understand? I remember years ago when I was a kid, there was once upon a time in Nigeria, yeah? When young boys were just playing football, kicking football about, and the young boys who were really good at playing football, very skillful, yeah? And just for playing balls, a lot of fathers and mothers, they will beat the crap out of those boys. Do you know how many young men years ago, when Premiership football wasn't popular then, when football wasn't earning huge amount of money? I remember years ago, when I was a kid, when I was in Nigeria then, I remember parents, they will beat the crap out of their sons. There was a boy that I grew up with then when I was a child, and his dad and his older, they will beat him so much, he will, with his skin peeled off, just for playing football, man. And then, as the years went by, things started changing. And then, football became like, globally popular. Then earnings in football went up. So this is exactly what I'm saying. The same parents that were flogging their children and battering them for playing football, not for doing anything else, for loving football. Then they realized that, so there is money in football. And then they started aggressively pushing their boys now. Some of them would even access diabolical means in the background to now push those boys and push them and push them. And again, I go back to my point. People like that are very selfish. The only reason why they're pushing those boys is not really for those boys to prosper. They're pushing them for their own concealed interest. It's very common. It's the same driving force behind a lot of Africans that traveled abroad. They're not there to, maybe if you find a better opportunity in the US, maybe, if it aligns with you, or if you find an opportunity in Germany or in the UK. No, they pushed you abroad so that they can get Forex. A lot of them are too cowardly to admit to it in a face-to-face conversation. But as the years go by, when they start mounting undue pressure on you, another common thing is, if maybe you, out of 4 siblings, you're the only one that managed to travel out, what they then do is, without telling you face-to-face, they just transfer parental responsibility, even for your older siblings, to you. You know why? You live in England. You're spending pounds sterling. So they are betting on the Forex now. They will tell you, or your older brother is still struggling to finish his university education. You then become the one to fund them. How you are surviving here, they don't want to know. They don't care. Oh, your younger brother, they've this and this and these have come out of university. Da 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 da. You must fund them. Oh, this one wants to become a tailor. He needs to buy his machine. He needs to buy his equipment. You must, because you're the one in the UK. You must provide the funding. Again, what that ensures is you remain trapped in poverty. Because you're here in the West with your truckload of monthly outgoings, the reality is you can't afford it. The pressure sits on your neck. You barely have any savings. And this is the story of a lot of diasporans. A lot. So many diasporans. You play God. They condition you. They force you into that position. You are in the US. You are in the UK. That's why some of you need to have multiple jobs. One full-time job to fund the bills within the confines of the diaspora. The other one to aid your remittances. I know what I'm saying. And before you blink, you spent 10, 15, 18, 17 years with nothing to show for it. What these type of behavior ensures is it ensures that a lot of our folks remain trapped in these poverty-stricken cycle of life. These parents, if they had done well with themselves, what they would have done, they would have put trust funds in place for you, or even for your own unborn children. When they die, they would have passed on some wealth. Some African brothers and sisters, some of them are lucky. When daddy dies, something might get passed to you. Not because you're expecting those parents, but more widely, reverse is the case. So how do we begin to build generational wealth when the older generation is failing and refusing to pass on wealth to the younger ones? So how do you stay afloat? How do you survive? Again, it's the conditioning. I'm not saying don't give to your mom and dad or your brother. It is the conditioning that, oh, you believe, oh, I've got to, if I have £400 left in my hands after paying my monthly bills, I must give £300 to my mom. My mom really tried, you know. Mama allowed me to suck on both breasts when I was a baby. My mom borrowed money to send me to secondary school. My dad borrowed money. I got news for you. If a man and a woman are sexually savvy enough to bring another human into existence, a child, yeah, that becomes your dependent, I got news for you. Nobody's going to give you any medal or any trophy. You have parental responsibility towards the child. Do you understand me? It's a self-inflicted duty because you brought the child or the children into existence. So I don't get it. Mo jìyà lórí ẹ. Yeah, as I am. Mo ń jìyà lórí àwọn ọmọ mi. I've been through hell for my children. I have fought corrupt government departments in this country because of my children. They may know the stories when they grow older. I'm not bothered. I had to do what I had to do. I would rather die a honorable man. I'm not doing it for self-aggrandizement. I'm not doing it so that when they're older, mo jìyà lórí ẹ gan ní England, oh, Jimmy Ferry, I nearly died. It's what you have to do. It's a default setting. I understand that the children, which, you know, people, it's nice when they show appreciation. Oh, dad Thank you for all you did for me and all that. Great. But the fact remains that when you bring a child into existence, you have a duty of care, especially when they're going through formative years, they're children, they are fully dependent on you. Wait, what? So, as a father, hear this. If I make £100 on this sit, my children don't have food to eat, or their school fees is due, and then I have to spend £80 to cater for things that need to be sorted, like food shopping, keeping them warm. And I only have £20 to put in my pocket. What? I need to go into the middle of the road so that people can clap for me? That's my responsibility. I have a joint responsibility with their mother. So we are always planning for them. We join forces. What do we want to do for the kids? Okay, school fees is due. Oh, they need new pair of shoes. They need clothing. I can't sit here and begin to count the number of money that I've spent in combined forces monetarily with my wife to cater for our children. What should I come on YouTube and go topless and say, look at me. I have spent so much on my children. It's a default setting. It's what you are meant to do. You shouldn't then have a dark cloud hanging on the children when they become older. All the time when you were growing up in England, I kept the house warm in the middle of winter. You were meant to keep the house warm in the middle of winter. I remember having 2 jobs. I made sure you had 3 square meal in your belly. Yes. The child was meant to have 3 square meal. This is the emotional blackmail that they then apply for financial extortion. They then start running to everybody and their mama, running from pillar to post. I know, I washed your clothes until you were 20. Come on, man. I hear this nonsense too. Oh, you sucked on this breast. When you're a baby, you sucked on this breast. Wait, what? You were meant to breastfeed the baby. You understand me? So I even get some of these parents coming to my inbox to talk about, oh, you don't understand. Oh, wait till your time. No, I got news for you. This is why you have to make sure you get your finance in order. I always say to my wife, I'll say it here, I'm never going to wait for any child. And I'm not saying it because I'm online. I already have a fixed mind in place. Yeah, those solution seekers. Oh, you're telling us what we already know. That's why I block them. I don't have time. You understand? I'm not on your watch. I'm not on your payroll. You're not running my platform. You're very rude to be telling me about I should give you the solution. Saying, why can't you draft the solution and give it to us? I have a thing, bullet points here. I'm talking. You're trying to rush me on my platform. That's why you get blocked, because you're so rude. Anyways, don't mind some of our African people. They are ill-mannered. Let me see where. Some of the reasons behind this is failed attempts to unscrupulously use their children's glory. It gets dark now. Failed attempts to unscrupulously use their children's glory. The child becomes an outcast and marked for condemnation or even death. Some of your parents, I always tie this back into African spirituality. That's why if you look at the 99% of the spiritual problems that people have, they emanate from within your family tree. It could be from your mother's side of the family. It could be from your father's side. Sometimes it's a combination of both. And sometimes it could be from some family members within the family tree. Sometimes your parents both or one of them is directly involved. Because I always tell you, we are spiritual beings. Some of you don't appreciate this. Before you were born, whilst you were big in your mother's belly, or when you newly arrived to this planet, a lot of African parents, they discreetly carry out predestination checks. If I narrow it down to what we call it in Nigeria, akosejaye, you don't know how powerful it is. This is the service I'm rendering to people via Ifa. Know what you are called to do. Some of you, your mom and dad, you know them in the context of mommy and daddy. You don't know them that they belong in dark fraternities. You are not meant to find out. Some of you, it's when daddy dies and then you're rummaging through his wardrobe. They're trying to clean the house and get prepared for burial. And then you start seeing your uncle or your older brother or your sibling goes into the wardrobe and then they see certain things. Or some people from daddy's fraternity then show up unannounced and say they need to do certain rites on daddy's dead body before he can be buried. If anybody stands in the way, they will get obliterated. And you're like, my dad is the deacon of the church. He was a pastor all of his life. All of that is just a smokescreen. Did you catch what I just said? Most people don't have the balls to go in the direction I take some of these topics. So, some of your parents are very, very dark. They gave birth to you. Before you took charge of your life in adulthood, you grew up under their watchful eyes. They've already seen you. They know the kind of glory. They may have 4 children, and they've told them that you're the greatest of them all. They may even tell your father that, you see, this child will be a lot greater than you. Jealousy sets in. Your father doesn't want you to be greater than him. They want to use that glory as a springboard to better their own lives. The universe, your Ori might fight and they can't execute it. They go into the dark energies. If they can't achieve, you become that child who will be subjected to ill treatment. You just realize, why is it that my dad and mom, why do they hate me so much? Why is it that my other sibling, who is utterly useless, is the favorite child? Why this? Why that? That's exactly why. Sometimes they've seen that glory. I'm telling you, man, black folks. What you hear, they've seen it. Some of you, when you were born as a baby, your mother and your father, they've done the predestination check, akosejaye. They've told them what you have called to this planet to do, what you're going to become. Maybe you're a woman, you're a goddess of water. They can see that the glory is unbelievable. They might even tell them this child is so great, she'll be the wealthiest in the family. Tell that to most African families. They will shut it down faster than the speed of light. Akosejaye, predestination checks are powerful. It's good. But the dangerous side of it is if that data fall into the hands of evil, unscrupulous people, it's very, very dangerous. They will tamper with you spiritually. They will block you. I'm not even bull crapping. Oh, they will clamp you down. You can live in the US 20 years all you like. You can have 50 university degrees. They wouldn't let you climb. There are some, a child is born, your mother already knows, your father already knows that this child will only prosper as a farmer. This child's energy works successfully with the earth. Anything to do with farming, anything to do with agriculture, anything to do with toiling the earth, this lady, young baby, this boy will prosper in this dispensation. This child will flourish immeasurably. This child will flourish, will make it, will excel. They wouldn't let you climb. Tí wọ́n bá ti rí. What if you are asking them to go for what their Ori says they would be, and they don't want to go for that? Yeah, you see, I like that. If as a parent, you tell a child to go in the pathway, my job is a guardian, yeah? Let's say, for example, the universe calls my child to be a farmer. Anything livestock, farming and all that, like you rightly said. It's the job of the child's parent to guide that child, to steer them in the right direction. Because, oh, more, it's not for me to ask you to go to engineering school. You will never prosper. But like you said, we are humans. The child might be like, I want to be a race car driver. Let them. You try your best. And he's like, I want to be a race car driver. Let the child go be a race car driver. The child has the universe to contend with. It's not in a malicious or in a bad way. The universe will so deal with that child that they will spend years as a race car driver. They wouldn't excel. They will always experience sabotage, roadblock. The universe will move them back into their pathway. What you shouldn't do as a parent is don't physically, intentionally, or spiritually in any way intercept the child. If you know what the child is called to do, let them. So if the child says, I want to be an electrician, electrical engineer, or whatever, and they're not called for that, let them. They will retrace their step. You may even be dead and gone because you don't know how long you've got to spend on this planet, and they'll be like, for some reason, my dad used to talk about me being a farmer. And here I am, wow, running a poultry in Lagos, Nigeria, or in Ibadan, in Osogbo now, with 50,000 chicken capacity. And I'm doing well. My dad used to say that some 6-7 years ago. I was arguing with him, blah, blah. The universe would bring them back. But don't be the one as a parent to sabotage the child. Don't do that. That's the problem that a lot of folks face in the hands of their. This is why I'm saying it's actually almost good. What if you're asking them to go for, I've already said that. So it's actually always good when you do your predestination check as an adult. At least you're in charge of your life. Whatever you then do with it, that's up to you. If it gets into the hand of a caring parent when you're a baby, you're meant, that's the order of things like in Ifa. We're just hoping that your parents don't become evil and callous. Some of you, the problems you're dealing with today, if you trace it back, follow the blueprint, follow the footprint, follow it back, it traces back into the structure of your family. Push, 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 trace it, your parents are involved. In some people's cases, it may not be your parents. It may be some auntie, it may be some people within the family trees that have seen the glory and then tampered with. But also there's a lot of parents that are involved. So, yes, I've said that. And, So the last bullet point, they use, in line with what I've just talked about, they use imposition of a particular type of career and all that. They use it as a diversionary tactic to suppress your real calling and journey in life. So what do I mean? If your parents are involved in tampering with your glory, or if your guardian, whoever raised you, if they were involved, because it's actually contradictory for them to let you function organically into what the universe has called you to do. So if they've tampered with you, they would create an artificial pathway, which is a diversionary tactic to make sure that you stay away from your goal or from your true calling in life. You understand me? So some of these parents, when they insist, go and become an accountant, they know that this child wasn't called. I'll give you an example. There was a woman, her divination outcome says she's she needs to be fully initiated into Ifa and the order of Oshun Shengeshe, right? She's a goddess of water. Thank you, Isla, for the super chat. She has Aje Olokun. She's an Aje Olokun, Alaje, right? She has the deity of wealth, has a blueprint in her life. You understand? Part of her calling is to be an Ifa priestess, a traditionalist. You understand? And this person is here in the UK, struggling within the context of project management. She said she's had countless number of job interviews trying to become a PMO analyst. It's always been rejection after rejection. And an Ifa priestess, that's a prime calling. She must be fully initiated into Ifa and the Oshun deity, right? Oshun deity. She must be fully aligned with Oshun. And there are other careers that align with her. This came out of her divination. Now, that woman sent me an email this afternoon. I sent this to her a couple of days ago, and she said, "Dear Phrankleen, you know what? I'm at work, I'm reading my email, and I'm in tears." And she said, "I remember my mom's sister, before she died, some 5-6 years ago, she came to the UK for shopping, and she stayed with this lady. And she said, I remember there was one night she sat with me at the dining, we were having dinner. She said, even my husband was sat, and she said, I remember she was talking in parables. She said, she was like, you're meant to be like a priestess, a traditional priestess, like Ifa priestess, like Iyanifa. Ifa priestess, Iyanifa, a female Babalao that would be able to free the black children of Africa from whatever bond or limitation. And she said her auntie was stylishly saying it, but wasn't clear. She was like, what? Me? Like a priestess? She said, yeah. So she said, wait, where did you get this from? And the woman just shrugged that, well, in future, I hope that Eledumare will that you will find out, but you remember this conversation. And they carried on reading. The lady said that conversation that night stuck with her. She said 2 years after that, she went to Nigeria. So she sat with her own mother in Nigeria, and she was having a chat. Like, auntie, when she came to the UK, mom, she said something about me being an Ifam, and instantaneously the mom just went, no, don't listen to that nonsense. Blah, 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 blah. What does she know about that? Is she your mom? She didn't give birth to you. How dare her? Yada, yada, yada. Mother just went from 0 to 60, got defensive, shut down the conversation. 6 years later, the woman is dead now. 6 years later, fast forward to 2022. I don't know her from Adam. I don't even know what this woman looks like. She watches me on my channel. Paid for divination. Ifa uncovered precisely the same information. Now, this is what I suspect. Her mother knew about this for many years, suppressed it. It could be one of two reasons. She probably belongs in, to the calling, or sorry, to the group of those that fly the skies, if you understand what I'm saying, those with the dark energies. Or she's just a typical African parent that thinks, no, I don't like this. Why should my daughter become a Ifa priestess? I'll suppress that. I won't let her know. And they sent her here. She's a chartered accountant, but she said, Phrankleen, I've never used that degree to earn a pound here in the UK. She's worked for care agencies. She's done all sorts. Do you see what I'm saying? And this is how and also she talked about how she has been tampered with, as a lot of attacks spiritually. I don't know who's behind it, but a lot of these emanate from within families, your root, because it's impossible for the guy next door or the woman across the road that doesn't have any history with you to really know something about you that deep. It's always from the people that formed you, that brought you into human existence, that saw you from when you were tiny. It's always. This is why I said diversionary tactics to suppress your real calling and journey in life. Some of you may not appreciate what I'm talking about. You may think I'm waffling. It's all good. But I know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm an Afro-American with calling to be an Ifa priest. I've wasted the past decade working the family business, trying to make my parents happy. My family doesn't care to find anything out about Ifa. I did too. There you go. I am an Afro-American with calling to be an Ifa priest. This is what I'm telling you, man. Yeah, Avery, Broom people. This is exactly what Aditutu is just written on the screen. That's exactly. This is why I talk about come and do divination. Check. I am an emancipator. I'm called to help my people see the light. Those that understand it, understand it. If you don't get it, go and live your own best life. My job in this dispensation is to be like a sort of Moses. You understand? I'm like a sort of Moses, if I make a biblical reference, because a lot of you are religious, you understand what I'm saying. That's why Africans, we are the prime beings. There's so many dormant energies. You see those people that don't look like you and I, that control this world? They can see you, they see your ori, they see your energy as soon as you walk into the room. The offices you go to in the diaspora, they know who you are. But the worst part is you don't know who you are. That's the worst thing that can happen to anyone. They can see you. A lot of us are very powerful. You have these energies. Oh, somebody would sit down and say, oh, my name is Femi Ogundipe. Oh, you think those families that you came from in Africa, you think those names are just random names? Awodia. There are plenty of Babalawos in my bloodline. Awodia is my son. Awo-Odia. My bloodline, my ancestors, a lot of them are Babalawos. You understand? A lot of, when you look into a lot of them, my bloodline, my generation, the powerful African spirituality practitioners, generations were destroyed. A lot of people's minds were destroyed because they embraced religion of the invaders. People's pathways were destroyed. Mindset of Africans was sabotaged. You're chasing shadows and ensuring that your children and the generation after them also chase shadows. Send me an email for divination, Mark. My email address is in the description. About if you're interested in divination, predestination check, send me. Plenty. I'm thankful to the universe. Plenty of people in the past several weeks, I'm still yet to deliver some, have come through me and I've given them honest divination outcomes. I read some people's divination, I'm like, wow. Like that person said, that Afro-American. Do you know how many people in the past few weeks that they are babalaos? They're traditionalists. There's a particular woman, in Ifa priestess. When I sent her a divination outcome that you are an Ifa priestess, she works for the NHS here in the UK. Do you know what she said to me? She said, Phrankleen, I'm not going to lie. I was told in 2015 when I went to Oshogbo in Nigeria, he said an elderly woman, Iyanifa, did divination for me and told me that I am an Ifa priestess and I need to come home to align with that. She works here in the UK. She works in the NHS as some managerial position. And right now, she's threatened with job loss, like finance is upside down. You are not in alignment with your Ori. Her dad flung her to the UK. They paid for university for 2 years. They abandoned her. And then struggling. She met the man that she married, had 2 kids. He dumped her. He got her best friend pregnant. Life has been a roller coaster. Is she in alignment with her Ori? No, she's lived in England for 21 years. There are plenty of people like that in the diaspora. Everybody is a British citizen. Everybody want a gunner. Everybody lives in New York. Everybody lives in Texas. Everybody's got the blue American passport. But is that our achievement? Should our lives be defined by the ownership of British citizenship and American citizenship and nothing else tangible in terms of fulfillment to show for so many? I understand there are some that coming abroad has worked for them. Maybe they are in alignment. But I've been saying it. Not everybody. There's a guy, he's actually planning to go back to Nigeria with his wife and 2 kids. He's saved a lot of money. He's bought a farmland. If I said, nope, remain in the UK. Because people from your father's side will attempt to take your life and you might end up dead. If I said, for now, until another 2-3 years, you can do the divination again, remain in the UK, safe and sound with your family. Everybody's different. There are so many lives, spirits, destinies, just perambulating, just wasting away. This is it. Here in the UK, this is the night time. Another day is gone. Elumi can't waste away. It's like being in a tumble dryer. You wake up tomorrow morning, the same mundane routine. Work is a triangular lifestyle. Go to work, commute, come back home, go and do food shopping, come home, wife, eat, shag. If you can shag, go to sleep, wake up, empty your bowels, shower, go back to work, 10, 12, 13 hours, the same cycle. Zero fulfillment. The years go past. The years go past. The years go past. Oh, my mom, my dad brought me to the UK. They brought you to the UK. What a life being an Ifa. Somebody said, what a life being an Ifa priest. What does that mean, Tolu? What does that mean? Ade, the knowledge of the universe exists outside your 6 senses. It would benefit you to find out. You see them people. You're absolutely right. I understand. Thank you, Akwetombi, for that. There are folks. Don't be humble, Phrankleen. You are a modern day Enoch. Bringing back and shining sunlight on hidden heritages. Thank you. There are folks. There are folks who would always try to explain away. They have a little savings. They work for IBM. They work in central London, so they have all the Oxford Dictionary deeply rooted in their cranium. So they try to use logic. Why should I? What's this IFA thing you talk about? All of this is juju. I understand. It's fine. I understand. Some of them are proud gatekeepers. They don't even know that they're self-gatekeepers. They call it nonsense, call it whatever. That's fine. I'm a man, but I appreciate it all the same. Much love to our Black African family worldwide. You see, I've said this before, and I'll say it before I go. The white folks, they have a thorough understanding of African spirituality. They know. But you see, the society is built on lies. They want people to remain blind, particularly Africans. What belongs to us, they want you to suppress it. You will hate it. You would do the dirty job for them. You would deprive your children of looking there. You will remove yourselves from it. In fact, I don't want to go too deep. In some of the prominent white-controlled fraternities, at the top of them, in the middle of them, right at the pinnacle of them, they have rituals that they do. If you dive into those rituals, it's based on the knowledge of African spirituality. If you understand how to bend the powers of the universe in your favor, you'll be a powerful human being. A lot of you, so you hear somebody comes from the bloodline of Ogundikpe family, Ogun Shakin, Ogun Oshiakin. The energy of Ogun is absolutely prevalent in you. You have a lot. Everybody has Oduifa. It's like a barcode. It's in you. Especially if you're Black, you're African. It's in you. There's Oduifa that brought you into existence. It's in you. Those energies are dormant. We're just walking about. It's like a barcode. It's in you. This is why I tell people we are spiritual beings. My Ori is different from Rita. Rita's Ori is different from Akbitobi. Trust me. That's why the people that manipulate this universe, they do so based on the fact that multitude are blind. Huge amount of people are blind. The worst thing that can happen to a human being is living without knowledge of self. So they create a false template of existence. They give it to you. They dictate your life, what you see on TV, what you listen to on the radio, the movies you watch. They dictate your childhood. They dictate everything, the films you watch, everything is given to you as a template. We are spiritual beings. Thank you, Josh. Human beings originated from Africa. Africa, why do you think everybody, they have their claws? They have their claws in Africa. The worst part, which some of you know already, is because a lot of our people have been mentally damaged. If you don't know what sits inside of you, that's why you're going to give this cup to your white counterparts at work and bow down to them. I was in Aldi, a local Aldi the other day to shop. The security guard, did you hear what I said? He's like in his 50s, is a Nigerian man, the security guard by the door. He was moving the trolleys and I was packing my food shopping. And he was talking to this young white lady and her boyfriend by the door. And he was like, oh, sorry, because the scanner at the door went off. Blip, 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 blip. So he was like, oh, let me see your receipt and check your shopping, And then he checked and he was like, oh, maybe the scanner is faulty. Everything was okay, right? He could have just said, thank you, have a nice day. He looked at it, sorry, sir. Okay, sir. Bye-bye, sir. And the guy was just like, okay, have a nice day, bye. All right, okay, sir. You know that bend over, that submissive nature of bending over, it's inferiority complex. And I remember I was packing my shopping and out of the corner of my eyes, I looked at that man and I'm like, man, He had to bend over. Okay, thank you, sir. Sorry, sir. Sorry. Sorry for what? Because it's inside his DNA. Knowledge of self is not there. Critical thinking is not there. The trueness of self is not there. That man is he's just existing, he's not thriving at life. Do you get the message? So that's me though. That's my message. I hope you can pick one or two things from what I've said. All right? This is why I say to people, man, it doesn't matter. I understand you can't cry over spilled milk. Your background is your background. It's done now, whatever damage. But if you're picking it up from here, you've got to grab the bull by the horns, man. We can't keep making excuses. Okay, if I've been damaged to an extent and I'm trying to take control of my life, you should be determined to do well with the rest of your life and do a lot better for your own children. Do you understand? I should be thinking, what assets am I going to leave behind for the generation next? Somebody said, are you sure he's Nigerian? Oh, stop it. The Nigerians will never bow to a young boy. Stop it. If you wouldn't bow to a young boy, yeah, because I wouldn't do that if he's white, okay? Or even black. Speak for yourself alone. Let me put you on the flight. Let's go to Nigeria airports now. Right now in Lagos. Like tonight, let's catch a flight. 6 hours direct flight on British Airways or Virgin Atlantic, yeah? Let's land. Let's take a white person with us. And let the white person join the queue and deal with Nigerian immigration. And let's watch. And watch them in their uniform, how they turn out to be utterly useless. Come on, bro. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying. I see it all the time. Embarrassing, shameless behavior. Nigerian immigration officer in their uniform. Yeah? There was a day I was traveling to Nigeria. We landed. We're in the queue waiting for our passports to be checked and stamped. These Virgin Atlantic staffs, they had a separate lane for them. And these immigration officer, hello, sir. Welcome, sir. Welcome. Welcome, sir. What did you bring for me, sir? Hello, sir. Welcome, sir. Don't get me started, man. Go and look at the Indians, the Lebanese, the Pakistanis, and all these people that live in Nigeria, the Arabs. They live like gods. Aye, Jakujalonje. Nigerian police officer in uniform will hold an umbrella for them because they are pathetic like that. Can you and I, here in the UK, get even the youngest British police officer? Imagine even the youngest, maybe male or female, London Metropolitan or West Yorkshire police officer, and see me. Even if I'm a millionaire here in the UK. Hello, sir. Hello, Mr. Frank. Good to see you, mate. Hello, mate. Good to see you, mate. Can I have £20, mate? Have you ever seen that? You ever seen that? You ever? Doesn't mean they're not corrupt. Doesn't mean they're not bent. Have you ever seen that? Exactly. You ever seen a British, army officer? Can I just go to the British Army, their army centers here, and then go and talk to them anyhow? When you see army officers here in the UK, you rarely see them. You rarely see them. But when you see them, maybe train station, sometimes you see them about. People look at them and give them respect. They respect the uniform. You understand? This is exactly what I'm saying. It's called inferiority complex. You're not going to go to Dubai. Oh, thank you, barracks. That's what I'm saying. I was trying to remember the word barracks. Thank you, the word barracks. Can you even step close to their barracks? Can you go to Dubai Hmm? And see a Dubai police officer, and then they see me and hello, my friend, hello, welcome from Africa. Even if they're talking to you with a bit of a chat and maybe just being nice, they would just have a bit of a smile, talk to you briefly, and then you go your way. You understand me? It's called inferiority complex. Because of the lack of critical thinking, like I said already, that gap is there and it's going to be there forever. That's why the cultural shock, that's why a lot of our people, they're socially awkward. They cannot interact. And it goes into office environment. They have what do you call it, man? Office environment when they're socializing and all of those things. They don't get basic joke construct. They take offense, you know, because you're wired differently. I live in Dubai. They're not even send your papa here in Dubai. Very professional people, of course. Anyway, that's my point, man. Thank you very much. That's me done. Thank you for the super chat. So that's, you see, man, these problems, you see all those things I'm talking about, man. Just imagine them for a moment. Look at these multi layers of problems that we have to deal with internally. And yet we have external forces globally that we have to contend with. So that's me done, man. Just grab your life by the horns, learn to say no. Is all I'm trying to say, okay? And if you do divinations and you find out, do what you got to do about your life and keep it away from evil ones within the family structure and go ahead and be great. My name's Phrankleen. I appreciate your time tonight. Thank you for lending me your eardrums and eyeballs. Follow me on Instagram if you haven't. Somebody said check your email. I will. Olufemi Olun Lawyer. If you're interested in divination checks and all that, I'm working on a website. It will be ready in a few days. I'll let you know. Yeah, follow me on Instagram at Phrankleen as a spelt on my channel. Rita, I'll get in touch with you and everyone else, okay? Thank you. Send me your stories to foodchannel1960@gmail.com. Any trending topics, anything you'd like me to react to, if it has to do with you, I'll make you private. Even the little chat with you is called Intel. They're sizing you up to read your mind and body language. Thank you, John Famous. That's absolutely correct. Waters. Bye-bye.